Kalimera, Kalispera, whatever time you are watching, this is Mappa, not only on the NC network, but also on Hollywood Bulls. I'm Stel, Thasso is here. How you doing, my guy?
I am doing great. We're back.
It's been a long time.
Baby. We're back, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know.
Have you missed doing podcasts? Have you missed it?
Of course. See my own face on the screen and obviously talking to you as well. You know, having a good old chin wag. Yeah.
Yes. Well, do you know what? To be honest, I was kind of glad that we had an international week. Not because, you know, we could be sitting there moaning about the Cypriot national team, which I don't really want to discuss in too much today because it's just, But I think, I think we just needed a bit of a break from the Protathlima because so much has happened, you know. And this is a conversation that I've had with several people in the past, in the sense that the Premier League, you have, say, for example, the Newcastle-Arsenal incident, the goal. They're talking about it for 12 days. Whereas with the Protathlima, when something like this happens, it's done within 24 hours, if that. Yeah. It's like, it is what it is. Forget it. It's done.
Next thing.
Yeah. On to the next. So, yeah. Before we continue, blimey, forgive me. Foodfromcyprus.com. Use the discount code NCN12 for 12% discount off your food purchases. And if you decide to purchase and use the code, you'll be entered into a prize draw where you will get the opportunity to win 2-3 nights in where?
Lefkosia.
An Airbnb.
Yeah.
There you go. And also, there's something else I want to mention, Thasso, because we have a good friend called Buffo, who is an ANORTHOSIS fan. And Buffo, believe it or not, I say believe it or not, he co-owns a printing house called Ask Printing House in Cyprus. And they do everything. They print pillows, they print mugs, cups, saucers. He's an ANORTHOSIS fan, as I said. You do your wallets, all that kind of stuff. So if you're ever in Cyprus and you want to print some stuff, go to the Ask Printing House. It's in Ormidia. And yeah, just say Stel and Thasso sent you. And if you don't go, then we don't like you. There you go. That should be. Listen, I've just done a slogan for every company. If you don't come to us, we don't like you.
Ah, there you go. Sorted. That's our slogan as well.
Yeah. If you don't watch us, we don't like you.
Fantastic. Yes.
There you go. All right, my friend. Shall we kick off with some football?
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Mappa.
Let's go with some Mappa. First game, my friend. Salamina 2, AES 2. Dingini gave AES the lead. Gachari's equalized. Durmishai, they made it 2-1. And then Sergiu's own goal gave AES a vital point. Thasso, disappointing for Salamina?
Very disappointing. You'd expect Salamina to do a bit better, especially since AES are playing their home games in the Amostos Epistrophi as well. So it was basically a home game for them, this. They should have done a lot better. Two goals that they should have done a lot better from. I mean, we just seen Sergio's own goal there. It's, I mean, a disaster, really, isn't it? 91st, 92nd minute disaster for him. But yeah, they were all undone by themselves, really. Although I've got to say, the penalty that AES got in, what was it, at the 11th minute?
Yep.
I don't think it's a penalty.
Well, let's bring it up again, shall we? Because it looks like he's headed it onto his hand, doesn't it?
But it's not even onto his hand. It's like it looks like it's his shoulder, doesn't it? It's not quite.
Let me take it back and see if I can. Yeah, it is a bit of a sticky one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a sticky one.
So I think they're a bit hard done by that. Obviously, the referee VAR check that gets released every week from the Cyprus FA said that the decision was correct.
Okay.
I mean, this is going to be the theme for this week's podcast, I think, but I don't think that's the correct decision there from anybody. But regardless, you know, that they went 1-0 down. They were 2-1 up. And then in the 80-something minute, Danny Bejarano gets a second yellow card. Can't complain about it. And then that basically opened the floodgates for ARIS to just attack. And then Salamina getting done by that cross, Sergio putting it into his own net. Yeah. Bit of a disaster for them, really. They would have been 5 points off top if they'd won.
Yeah,
again,
that's right.
Yeah, and again, if you've got Salamina coming up, right? Game preparation, it's got to be so easy for the team. If you know what you're doing, you basically practice your defending set pieces, because a lot of Salamina's goals are from those attacking set pieces.
Yep.
Yeah, Gacharis with his goal this time. You know, he didn't get the celebration now this time round, but you know, yeah. But yeah, easy stuff, I think, to prepare against Salamina. If you know what you're doing, which, as we've spoken about corners before, not a lot of teams in Cyprus know what they're doing with the corners. But yeah.
Yep. What I will say though, Durmishai's finish, absolutely fantastic. And this is a guy that you were waxing lyrical about last season when he was at Olympiacos.
Yeah, he got injured for Olympiacos. Basically, he played a game, then got injured, and then was out for 2-3 months. So basically, to the end of the season, fitness-wise, he wasn't all there. But he's had a pre-season now. He's with a club that, you know, they play a brand of football that probably is good for him. He's still not playing full games for him. He's coming off the bench. He's starting games and then getting subbed. Christodoulou likes to have like 4 or 5 plans going on at the same time. But yeah, we've got players like Narsing, Miguelito, and other players that kind of support those front two of Durmishai and Dorigaray. You're going to get goals from them. And yeah, so we're seeing a very good front line from Salamina, not necessarily the defense, but front line very good.
I'm trying to count how many teams he's played for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, he's on his 10th or 11th club, and yet he's only 27. Do you think he's actually found his home now?
Well, I mean, if you have a look though as well, I think it's Offie that they got him from. Is that right?
Yeah.
Offie sent him out on loan to Olympiacos last season.
Yeah.
So I think he's had like a few loans throughout that, and
that's right.
The clubs they think a lot of him because of, I mean, he's even got a cap for the Greek national team.
Yeah.
So he's got something. So hopefully we can see him push on and do something with the talent that he seems to have.
For sure. All right. Any more news coming from either of those clubs?
No, I didn't find anything. Did you find something?
Negative, captain. No, so we'll move on.
A quiet one to start with. We
shall move on to the next. And DOXA thought that they were going to get their first win of the season. They went a goal down when Navarone forced penalty, retaken penalty. Naughty Alex gave KARMIOTISSA the lead. Velesovsky made it 1-1 before Trujic gave DOXA the lead. And they thought maybe, just maybe, they might get their first win of the season. But nope. Vangelis Girago put in his own nets. 2-2, it's ended. The winless streak continues, but they do have a point, Thasso. And 1 point is better than none, I guess, even though they're only 5 points behind KARMIOTISSA.
Look at that finish. Giriago, what a finish. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, Poacher's finish.
Yeah.
Poacher's finish.
Yeah. Great. Again, defending set piece. So, you know, but yeah, first, I sat down and watched this game. First half was, I put it on Twitter. First half was a basketball match. It was end to end, shots at both ends, things firing all over the place. I mean, you can, if you see the extended highlights, the Sita Vision have put up as well. It's 7 minutes of highlights, about 6 minutes of it from the first half. But yeah, second half was a cricket game. It was like someone do something, you know. It was basically it felt like,
it's like that meme with the stick. It's the meme with the stick.
Exactly. Yeah, do something. Exactly. Yeah. Penalty. You can't argue against it. I don't think Alex argued very much against it either, did he? He just shrugged and got on with it. So yeah. Goals were goals. Although, need to mention, because of the Antoniadis watch from 2 weeks ago, he got an assist.
Yes.
The throw in, he threw it. He threw it in, and the KARMIOTISSA defender headed it on, and Trujic got to it to score his goal and do the whole that whole celebration. I don't know what that's about. Can't see me. No, we can't, mate. Anyway, yeah. Obviously, KARMIOTISSA drawing the game with DOXA. Mr. Johnny Violins wasn't very happy, was he?
Oh, no. No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Shall I read
I think we need to do like an intro video for him, like what we did with Vada, with violin music of your
you know the wedding music there.
when the groom is being shaved.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
oh my God.
Let's see. We talk about it now, and then the rest of the season, he's not going to say anything. But yeah, do you want me to read the quote? I'll read the quote. Yeah, we find the 2-2 quite sad. We had hopes of beating DOXA. We came up barren offensively. They scored 2 goals. We came up barren offensively and gave DOXA a chance to win their first point. We're trying to find the reason why we did not appear to take it serious. We beat ARIS and thought we did something great, then showed up with DOXA with the crap you saw. Crap. Skada. Did he actually say Skada?
I don't know. I don't know.
But anyway, you realise that
he said other things in the past, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. You realise that the pitch also plays a role. The DOXA pitch is 30 meters smaller in width than ours. That doesn't sound right. 30 meters. That can't be right.
15 either way.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right, does it? But anyway, the coach is right that it was his fault. Unfortunately, as I said before, our attacking play was bad. DOXA defended and managed to get their first point. We didn't take advantage of our opportunities. I mean,
I think he must mean length. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
but width, no.
It can't be width. It can't be width. 30, you take 30 meters off the width, you're just left with the goalposts.
Yeah.
That's a narrow pitch. But yeah, I mean, the way he kind of phrased that paragraph of him not being happy, it kind of makes you wonder, how long is CHARALAMBOUS going to last? I think he has some leeway, because obviously he got the 4-1 result against ARIS. And they didn't lose against DOXA. So I think... I think he's going to be okay.
But we still don't know who owns the club, do we? No announcement's been made.
No announcement's been made, but there's been like images of a guy. I think Demosthenos is his surname.
Okay.
And he was the guy who introduced Punin to KARMIOTISSA in the first place, and he was like his number 2, which kind of makes me think, has the ownership changed, or is it just while until the heat dies down regarding the Cyprus confidential papers.
So does that technically make it? Does that technically make him or made him the ass owner?
Yes, he's the ass owner. Exactly. Yes. Yes. I like how you're finally picking up on my ass man stuff. So yeah. Yes.
Took me a while.
Yeah. But I think Demosthenes is some kind of is like a facilitator, because from what I read in his past history, he also brought the ARIS owner to ARIS as well.
Okay. So he's got a lot of Soviet connections.
Yeah, yeah. The guy knows people and he knows clubs.
It makes sense that they're borrowing Buffalo's ground.
There you go. It does make sense.
Connect the dots. Connect the dots. Starting to sound like Irv Gotti when he first heard In the Club. Do you hear about that one?
The who? Sorry.
So Irv Gotti was the CEO of Murder Inc. When he had Ja Rule, yeah.
Ah, right.
That was the time when they had problems with 50 Cent, and then there was one. It was from the documentary of the Murder Inc. I'm going off on one, but basically, Irv Gotti's in the studio listening to the radio with Ja Rule and all these others, and then all of a sudden 50 Cent's tune In the Club comes on. He just hears the beat, and he's like, okay, because I'm sitting there remembering I heard the beat. And I know that 50 Cent is with Dre. He goes, the beat is great, but can he connect the dots? Can he connect the dots? And he goes, I heard, and you find me in the club. Oh my God, we're fucked. He goes, we're fucked.
You started talking about it and then you froze.
Fuck.
So somebody's been listening and then cut you off.
Fuck. What bit did you get?
I got to 50 Cent coming on the radio.
Yeah, so 50 Cent comes on the radio.
Yeah.
And Irv Gotti saying, I'm listening to the song and I hear the beat and it's a brilliant beat. And in my head, he's like, 50's with Dr. Dre, so the beat's going to be sick. But can 50 Cent connect the dots? Can he connect the dots? And then he goes, I hear the chorus. You find me in the club. He's like, we're fucked. He goes, we're all fucked. Can you connect the dots? He connected the dots. Anyway. I'm going to leave it in. I'm not even going to edit this bit out. Fuck it.
No, listen, right. As soon as you mentioned Ja Rule, they're only like everybody knows Ja Rule and exactly. But there's also that. I don't know. Have you seen the advert he does for that Greek restaurant?
Oh yes, yes. Yes.
Right. Sidebar. I need you to put the link to that video.
No, I need to find it. I'm gonna find it now. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put it on you. Fuck it. I'm gonna do this right now. Where is it? Come here. Here we go.
What? Yeah.
Obama. Rose got the best mother John Rose. You ever ate your life so good that when you got to have Peters, Papa Cristo, Peters. They got everything. I'm gonna just give you a rundown of some of my favorites. They got tzatziki. Hold on. Octopi tequila. Well, whatever, but it's good. Apollon soup, Copper pizza, and they got wine too. I'm telling you, come on down to Papa Cristo. You can't even pronounce the food. It's so goddamn good. Show them what you work with, Papa. Show them how you do it.
Hey, Papa. Hey, where are you, Papa Cristo?
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Right. What I want you to do is clip that and tag a KARMIOTISSA out of context. see what Oh dear. Unbelievable.
Sorry, listeners. I'm sorry. We just Listen, we haven't spoken in a couple of weeks on a podcast, so we need to make up for lost time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Is there anything else?
No.
No.
No, that's it.
Okay. Whew, okay. Let's move on to the next game then, because this is a bit of a serious one, and I know Ruslev ain't going to like this one, but AEK beats AEL by 3-0. Angel Garcia gave Larnaca the lead before Dongia made it 2. Rafa Lopez came off the bench to make it 3. And to be honest, that's why it's not in the highlights here, but AEL had a glaring opportunity in the first half at 1-0. And had they put it away, we might have been talking about something different. Koskela will be a little bit peeved, surely, that they didn't come away with anything.
Yeah, but again, crap defending from a corner. Although, to be fair, Angel Garcia's header is a pretty good header. Like, he rises up above whoever's marking him, nods it into the net. Can't do much with that. Like, you could do better, but you can't do much with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andreu, as impressive as he is for his age, so this is the AEL player that missed that chance. He's very impressive for his age. He's very, very young. I think he's only 19. Is that right? 19, 20?
Yeah.
With a bit more experience, a bit more composure, you would see him finishing that off. But yeah, it's the kind of experience he needs to be able to be a better player for AEL in the future. But I mean, they didn't have that many chances, AEL, did they? It was mostly AEK kind of having a bit of an exhibition game to like, Ram Ben Shimon's back. Hey, welcome back, my guy. Here's a game, you know.
Yeah.
One thing that did come up before the game was the AEL were not happy with the choice of the referee for their game because of his performance in this same game last season.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Go on. There's a statement, isn't there? There's got to be a statement.
That would. I mean, there was a statement, but it was basically like, "We're not happy. You need to put another referee on." But the statement itself was just a long version of that. There was like 3 paragraphs of it, and that was the conclusion. I'm trying to keep it down with the statements. But yeah, one thing that surprised me in this game is Rafa Lopez scored a goal.
Yeah,
like, it's been a while, hasn't it? I don't remember.
Right.
I don't remember him scoring many. It's been a while.
You're asking a question now. You're asking a question now. Asking a question now. And I'm sure we'll have to dig up when the last time he scored. But look, he's one of those players. You know, I was talking about Fran Sol and his height and the heading, but he scored the winner against APOLLON. So that shut me up. But Rafa Lopez, for me, has always been an impact striker. You know, remember when they had what's his name? The other tall centre forward. Then he went to AEL, Romo.
Yeah.
Similar sort of player in that respect, but I think Lopez is more mobile. He's running off the balls better, and he's a little bit quicker. So to see him score, obviously, it's going to be good for him. He was clearly in the wilderness under Ultra. And for Ben Shimon to come in, and the one thing I did notice, especially first half, Farage, good old Nigel, I call him Nigel from now on. He was possessed. He was all over the place. He was running back, moved to central midfield to win the ball. He was switching the ball out wide. He was moving in wide areas, switching flanks. It's almost as if he had a free role. So I don't know if this is what they're going to be doing, because Dimas was very central. He wasn't drifting as much as he used to. So I don't know whether they're going to be swapping roles. I'm not sure. It's certainly going to be an interesting one, but they went 4-3-3, which, again, pretty similar to Ultra's system, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason they probably changed when they did as well is because they would have had 2 weeks. Ben Shimon would have had a good period of time to be working with a lot of these players, since a lot of them didn't go on international duty. So you would have seen them drilled more to kind of what he wants to do. I've just loaded it up, by the way. The last time Rafa Lopez scored in the league was against OMONOIA in May. But yeah, Ben Shimon, he did pretty well with them, I think, when he was there last time. Albeit it was what, 12 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. He got them to 4th place. So he didn't get them into Europe, but he got them into, at the time it was split, into the 3 groups of 4. And he got them into that top group. So he had them fighting for those European places at the time. But yeah, so if he manages to get them in some kind of form, then it's going to be difficult, I think, to break into that top 4 before January, but they could still have something to say about getting into the top 6.
I don't know. I mean, look, okay, you can say their next 2 fixtures are going to be difficult. They got ANORTHOSIS away next, but ANORTHOSIS with the injury problems that they have, which we're going to touch on in a moment, and then ARIS, who, if I'm not mistaken, will they have one more Europa League game, or will the Europa League games be finished by then if they're not in the competition? I don't know, but they might be out of Europe by that time as well.
They'll have to play their last league game, the last Europa League game. Yeah,
before AEK, right? So that game is going to be probably moved to a Sunday or a Monday, I'm guessing, because it's scheduled for a Saturday, but I guess because they're going to move it. So you could say Ben Shimon it's a bit unfair for him because he's stepped in with effectively 4 derbies, because even though he wasn't on the bench for the APOLLON game, he was officially announced anyway. So IL was his first game. Then they got ANORTHOSIS and then ARIS. But before that, after that, they got ETHNIKOS and then DOXA before OTHELLOS. Now, I'm not saying that they will get into the top 6, but I still don't think it's impossible. If you think about it, because they're level points with SALAMINA at the moment on 19.
Yep.
And SALAMINA is 6th. So there's still a chance. And the way that APOLLON are playing right now, you never know. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's an interesting time for both these clubs for completely different reasons.
Well, have you seen AEK's new signing?
The mascot.
KIMON, apparently. His name is KIMON.
Yeah, it's the guy on the emblem.
Yeah. Well, they spell it Kimon, K-I-M-O-N, but it's actually Simon, isn't it, with a C? That was the
because that's how the ancient Greeks didn't have a K.
No. So anyway, so that's the new mascot, and if I were ARIS right now, I'd be deeply offended. And as I put on X, they should have a celebrity boxing match. Put the ARIS mascot ARIS against KIMON in the ring. Put them in. Battle of the Gladiators. Do it.
Well, listen, right? You've got the god of war versus an Athenian general that died in his most famous battle. So there's a couple of. It's a bit like this, isn't it? You've got one guy up there, the other one's going to be basically ARIS in theory should bury him.
Although, having said that, do you remember back in the day? I mean, you're old enough to remember this. They used to have events between club mascots in the UK. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, they used to. Was it at Epcot or where was it?
Something like that. They had them on a running track.
Yeah,
they had them on a running track, and maybe they should do that with the mascots. I mean, I've seen PAFOS one. He looks like the Cookie Monster. You can have him.
APOLLON's is a bear.
APOLLON's a bear. I don't think OMONOIA's got one. I haven't seen one anyway.
Mm.
We got Thanasi Rizvani though. We could have him as our mascot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
love
could.
Thanasi. He's a good boy.
You could.
Or maybe
could.
Roy. Roy could be our mascot. Although you need to give him like a whole box of Geor to start beforehand. You know. Sorry, Roy. I'm joking. He knows I'm joking. So yeah, I think why not just get them two in the ring, fight out, even for charity. Why not?
Yeah, do
or
it.
Like a Royal Rumble.
Royal
Rumble.
Do it.
Mascots.
Constantine,
even throwing Varda's dog. Throwing Varda's dog. Or like in the WWE where they've got the ladder match where they've got the belt hanging from the thing. Put Varda's dog instead of the belt. Put Varda's dog hanging from the rope and get the ladder
but humanely.
Yeah, but have a harness.
But remember the dog's ill still.
Well, at least he'll go out happy. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on, please. Well, before we move on to the next game.
Why?
AL are gonna have more problems.
Okay,
the spokesman today on SuperSport and a lot of other stations has been talking about them maybe being hit with a transfer embargo due to missed payments relating to transfers undertaken last season.
Last season?
Yeah.
Summer or January?
Well, he didn't elaborate on that. But yeah, it could be they haven't paid Bebe or Silas, or I know they're still having discussions with Janevski, but it could be as well. Yeah, it could be. Well, Berahino's still at the club, but yeah, somebody like Miralas maybe he's still owed money. We don't know. But they need to figure it out because January transfer window is coming. And I'm guessing Cosquela's going to want to bring in some more players. Yep. So, get your house in order.
Yeah, watch this space. Okay, on to the next. APOLLON's woes go from bad to worse as they lose 1-0 against ANORTHOSIS at home. However, a red card was overturned. I'm not going to say too much about it. All I will say is that I think he got away with it, in all fairness, knowing the way that the Cypriot League operates and people in the VAR room operate. Incidentally, ANORTHOSIS had 2 goals correctly disallowed for offside, by the way, in this game. But the third goal, which counted by Gassama, wonderful header, great cross from Teixeira. But I think this save from Arbeloda, I think his name is. I forget how to pronounce his name. Arbeloda. Fantastic save. I think that was a turning point. But that's Gassama's header. 1-0 on ANORTHOSIS. They're in fantastic form at the moment. 4th in the table. 2 points off top spot. But it came at a cost, which you're going to discuss in just a moment. But before we go into ANORTHOSIS, what do you make of APOLLON at the moment? Because I know apparently Girzi had a meeting with Milojevic yesterday. He then spoke to the players after training. Apparently they have standards. And it's got to be concerning given that they had, 4 head coaches last season. They're on their 2nd this season now.
Yeah.
And we know that Girzi is ruthless. He's not afraid to pull the trigger. 4 games without a win, I think it is now.
4 defeats in a row.
4 defeats on the bounce, yeah.
So, APOLLON aren't conceding goals. They're not conceding that many goals. They've got the 3rd best defense in the league, I think, after APOEL and BAFO.
I still don't know how that is possible because they're just shit defensively. I'm sorry.
I don't know how it's possible either. But APOEL and BAFO conceded 7. APOLLON have conceded 10. And so they're the 3rd best defense in the league. Now the problem is the goals, but it's also right. I'm not surprised by the way that Milojevic's APOLLON have turned out, because the way that he's brought in the same kind of system, tactics, way of working as he had at APOEL, where, you know, Gvilidaya before Gvilidaya, how many goals did he score last season? 5?
Something like that.
6?
Something,
you know,
like that, yeah.
as a striker, especially someone who's supposed to be an out-and-out striker, that's very poor turnaround for a team finishing as high as APOEL did. The right back, Darikwa, is basically Susic version 2 from last season. Is a lot of Apollo's players going down that right side, and it's got all going through him. Plan B. Where's the plan B? Remember me complaining about this last season?
Yeah.
There's no plan B. He's got a plan, and there's no flexibility past that plan. You know, it's so basically we're seeing a mirror image of what was going on at APOEL last season, except the difference between APOEL and APOLLON is APOEL had a strong defensive unit last season, whereas APOLLON now this season, it's not as good. Let's just put it that way. And I think that's kind of where this is ending. I mean, it doesn't help as well that he got himself sent off and, you know, not on the bench for 2 of those 4 games.
Yeah.
And I think his suspension got extended because he was given. I think Leonidis brought it up one week, basically that he was given tactical changes from the stand, but like being behind the dugout, going, play further up the pitch, you know, whatever his change of tactics was. So
he didn't have a walkie-talkie.
No, you know, like Shpilevsky.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
the thing is that they've got 2 winnable games next. They've got ETHNIKOS away and OTHELLOS away, and that's before Ayana in the cup. Then there's SALAMINA at home, which obviously is going to be a tricky one before KARMIOTISSA. So they can turn it around, but I think if they don't beat ETHNIKOS, he's in trouble, man.
Is OTHELLOS away a winnable game? Remember, they didn't beat them at home.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, but okay, I get what you're saying, but I firmly believe that they should be looking at
They should be looking at 6 points from those next 2 games. I think if he doesn't get a win for Aachen, I don't think they're gonna against Aachen. I don't think they're gonna let him get to the OTHELLOS game.
Yeah, I agree. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But listen, we know what
there's-
Cyprus is like, man. Nothing should really surprise you when it comes to managerial changes.
The Veterans Club came out with a statement this week after the ANORTHOSIS game. So they're calling for the supporters to support the team. So this is the time when all Apollonistas should unite and show patience away from leveling criticism and comments. But there's a bit more spiel in there about unity and everybody staying together.
We hear that all the time. We hear that all the time, though.
But right at the end, the last paragraph, is the message we send to the footballers of our team is that the shirts they are wearing is very heavy, and those who cannot lift the weight should leave immediately.
Well,
so it seems that the blame that's being apportioned, at least on the supporter side of things, isn't necessarily with the coach, but with the performance of some of the players.
Well, look, as we said at the beginning of the season, they made wholesale changes in the summer. It's going to take time for players to bed in. I think some players clearly have never played in the league before and never knew the standard didn't know what to expect, and they started off slow, and then they got a good run of form, and one bad result, ironically against my team, and it seems to have gone downhill for them. But at the same time, they do have a lot of players who have played at a higher level that should know better.
Yep.
And they should know the level of expectation. However, this is Cyprus, and it's unforgiving. Yep. It's unforgiving. Yep. Other countries will give you time, but in Cyprus, no.
You've had the time.
Say that, yeah, they say the pitch is the mirror. I don't know. So I think the mirror's cracking for some of them, but anyway, you know.
Yeah, speaking of the state of the pitches.
Yeah. Oh yes. I was saying move on to this one because
yeah. So Frank Garcia, ANORTHOSIS announced that he injured his ACL, so he's basically out for the season. Now he's not the only one. This week, is it this weekend? Yeah, this weekend. He's not the only one this weekend who's now out for the season with an ACL injury.
Yeah.
Because Davo for PAFOS has also had an ACL. Now we'll talk about that one after the PAFOS game. But yeah, it rained quite heavily this weekend. You saw people watching would have seen it in the highlights for that game. That the rain pissed it down. It dropped. It dropped all the rain that they were missing for the last 2 months. It dropped it all this weekend. But because of that, Cyprus is not prepared for rain ever. Whether it's a football pitch, whether it's a road, whether it's someone's house. If it rains, it's always apocalyptic because things are blocked up. It's all ruinous. So we've seen it on some of the pitches, like for instance the Katokopka Epistrophy pitch. There was a lot of sand coming up from the grass out on the wings, for instance.
Yeah.
And and we've already seen the kind of problems that the Alfamera pitch has when it rains. After last season, what was it, in January, when it pissed it down and then it ended up being a lake, so yeah, that kind of thing is going to be a big issue, especially for players who are playing with a lot higher intensity than, say, the seasons before in Cyprus. Now the game has become a lot more intense now. And we're going to see, like you were saying, we're going to see a lot more muscle injuries. But you're a bit more, you've got a bit more expertise on that side of things. So I think I'll let you talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, I think, because, put it this way, I think, look, you mentioned the state of the pitches. Okay, we've seen players slipping and sliding. We've seen balls bobbling. We've seen the state of the pitches. It doesn't help that there are some stadiums that have 3 or 4 games at a weekend. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, for example, we spoke about Salamina. They share their stadium with 2 other teams, right?
No, just with ARIS.
With ARIS. What about Othello? Where do they play their games?
Oh, no, yeah, sorry, you're right. Othello play the games at the AMOHOSTAS as well, yeah.
Last season, we had Ari playing at ANORTHOSIS Stadium briefly.
Yeah.
The Ghazi B was used by OMONOIA, APOEL'S, and Olympiacos at one point. So you see a lot of ground sharing. Syria, another example. Alpha Mega, 3 clubs, right? So the pitches ain't going to be in great condition. I don't know how serious they are about maintaining the pitches. I don't know if they've got groundsmen that actually know what they're doing. I don't know if they've got the LED lights, but they probably don't need it because of the weather in Cyprus more often than not. Do they cover the pitches? I don't know, right? So that's one thing. Then you have the training facilities. From what I've been told, some of the clubs, they're terrible. Buffalo are probably the best because they've got UEFA standard training facilities. But when you're looking at OMONOIA, for example, I mean, their dressing rooms are porta cabins, effectively. So what does that tell you about what the pitch would be like? So you're going from a training surface that could be very, very different to the training, the surface on the pitch. Okay, so you got that, the risk, whether it be players sliding, whether it be twisting. You could talk about the kind of boots that players wear these days because they got blades. Some of them don't wear studs. So these are little factors that contribute to injuries. Then you have the training sessions. Okay, and this is something that I've noticed. When you've got coaches like Gallejo, when you've got the fella at Buffer, coaches that have been at elite clubs or at elite level, they got a certain standard of coaching, whether it be a certain type of intensity, volume, load, time of training, whether it be in the morning, evening, whenever it is, different training regiments, different physios, masseurs, etc., etc. And if you got a coach that wants to train players to his standard, if they've been coaching at elite level, they're going to coach at elite standard. And if players cannot physically cope with it, they're going to break down. They're going to have these injuries. Now, I didn't see Garcia's injury, so I don't know whether it was from a challenge. I don't know whether it's from the surface. I don't know whether he just pulled up. I don't know. I haven't seen. Same with Davor. I don't know.
Oh, you'll be able to see the Davor one. It's in the highlights.
Okay. Well, I just got the goals.
Oh no, it won't be. But it's in the highlights.
Right.
It's in the extended highlights.
So did he pull up? Or was it just a normal injury, or what was it?
So it's a sprint. He's sprinting to get the ball. He puts the ball across the goal to the Russian player
Abdusalamov.
Abdusalamov, yeah. And he carries on running, and then he pulls up. So it's from a sprint. He came on the 77th minute, 79th minute, had to come off.
Yeah. But see, that doesn't happen immediately. That doesn't happen from one sprint. It's wear and tear. And he could have been on the verge of doing his ACL. He could have been on the verge of it. I'm not saying that there's a strong possibility that it was about to go any time. This is what I'm saying. So, again, you could say, okay, I'll give you another example, right? Milojevic, last season, with APOEL. Look at all the injuries that you guys were getting.
Yeah.
Okay? The previous season with Sofroni, look at all the injuries that you guys were getting. And this is another factor. The change of coaches often means a change of training regimen. So if you're accustomed to being coached or trained one way, and then someone else comes in and they completely switch it up, whether they improve the intensity, increase the intensity, or make you train a certain way, it's going to have an effect.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, you can even talk about the cars that players drive that could have an impact on injuries, hamstring injuries especially. It's been known to happen in the past.
Okay.
If they're driving some sports cars, for example, some sports cars are low, so when they're having to stretch to change the gears, it has an impact on the hamstring injuries. You'd be surprised. I want to get a physio on, or someone. Maybe I might ask Leonida Babalagi to come back on, or even ask my friend Johnny at the 108 Harley Street to come on to explain all these things, because these are things that I've looked at in the past: groin injuries, hernia injuries, etc., all that kind of stuff. And it's incredible how so many things are linked. Even a diet, Thasso. You'd be surprised.
Oh yeah,
a lot of players that have gone on. A lot of players that have gone onto plant-based diets have picked up injuries, and it's no coincidence that once they've come off eating meat and they've gone to eating just plant-based foods, it's affected the immune system to such an extent that it causes injuries. There is correlation, and there are studies. But again, I'm digressing, But I think there's a lot of factors that contribute to these injuries. So for Davor to pull up like that, again, we haven't gone into it, but with Fran Garcia's one, I don't know what happened. I need to see what happened, whether he pulled up or whether it was from a challenge. You never know. Or it could be like with Ernest Asante when he was at OMONOIA, when he did his ACL. When he turned on the turf and he went down, I knew straight away it's an ACL. And I messaged him, obviously, a couple of days later to see how he was doing. I says, bro, were you wearing studs or blades? He goes, I was wearing blades. I says, there you go. because when you're wearing blades and you're twisting on that fucking surface, when it's slippery as well, because against Olympiacos, I remember this, it was like the Gazibi was pissing down, ironically. He went to turn on the surface because he was wearing blades. He twisted his knee and that was it, done. If he was wearing studs, he may have got away with it. He may have got away with it. So, anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem. It's not just a problem in the Protathlima. You know, we're seeing it all over the place. It's also the amount of games that a lot of the elite players are playing as well, which will end up causing a lot of injuries. You know, it's part and parcel of the modern game. It shouldn't be. There should be less games. Should be less games. Look after your players, but money. Yeah. To go from one thing to another, sticking with Anorthosis, there's also another player at Anorthosis who received some very bad news over the last week or so. It's Salva Ferrer has been diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma. So for people who don't know what it is, it's a type of white blood cell cancer. People who know a little bit about football probably have heard of it before, because Stilian Petrov had it. What was that? It must be like 10 years ago now, if not more. But yeah, the good news is when it's caught early, as it seems to be in this case, is very treatable, albeit the chemo and the radiation therapy that is required to kind of fight it takes a massive toll on the human body. So I think you'll join me in this, but you know, we're going to wish him the best of luck in fighting the cancer, and for him to have the strength to kick this thing in the face. You know, Forza, as some of the people have been saying. It's disappointing to see as well that it takes something like this for kind of unity between everybody in the football world in Cyprus. A lot of clubs have all come out and said, you know, the same thing, for him to get well soon. And, you know, it's very important because in the end, you know, the health and life is more important than football. And it's good to see, you know, a lot of people coming to support him as well. I think somebody in the Serie A scored this weekend as well.
That's right,
and they pulled out a shirt to kind of commemorate with it. What's the word? Not commemorate, to show him support. But yeah, it's a shit of a thing to have to deal with as well, because he's only 27 years old. And you know, all the support in the world.
Absolutely.
All of it.
Absolutely. And look, it goes back to what we were saying about Anorthosis and their injury woes. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. Okay, you could say the Guerrero one was a freak one. Artimata, I think Artimata is still injured, although I'm not sure how many games that he would play under Gallejo. But again, you just got to look at the amount of injuries that they've had this season. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head who's out.
Well, I mean, they also had Tijera out for a bit. They had,
I think Garga was out for a bit. I think was Garga out for a bit.
Yeah, Gassama, not Gassama. Sorry, the goal scorer. What was his name?
Gassama,
yeah, Gassama.
Musunda's out again. Musunda's injured.
Yeah, so they're going through it at the moment. Arboleda was injured for a bit as well, which is why Mikhail was playing in goal. So you know, there's
well, for their sake, they better hope Chico Bantha doesn't pick up an injury.
Yeah, they're going through it, aren't they? They're going through it. I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm surprised Garga got out of that game with APOLLON without an injury. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Kremenchik, what he did. Drop kicked the guy studs first into his back. Like I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't get sent off for that. But yeah, Garga could have been proper injured from that as well. So you know they're yeah.
Well, you know, I mentioned footwear and how that could cause injuries.
Yeah.
I think this could could give Chico Bantha a bit of an injury as well. I mean, look at the state of these shoes, man. The state of these shoes, like, honestly, let me see if I get the one where I've got the zoomed in version of his footwear.
That's
because
horrible.
It's now look, I've seen fashion faux pas in the past, and look, I can't talk because I'm wearing this very snuggly, warm, Darth Maul looking thing for the winter, and I'm a big fan of Kanye West, who loves to be a bit different, but I don't think even Kanye would wear those. What are they?
I think when you sent me this picture, I think I sent you the clip from Black Panther.
Yes.
What are those?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! What are they? What are they? It looks like It looks like he's let his feet get bitten by jellyfish.
Jellyfish?
Yeah.
Jellyfish.
Or like,
okay.
Or like, you know, he saw some subguests on a plate and thought, you know what? Stick them on there.
That's just mean. That's just mean. No, look, listen, they're footballers and they're entitled to do whatever they want. And I'm sure he doesn't really give a shit about what you or I say. But in all honesty, would you be seen dead in those?
No. N-O. No.
I guess on look, the one saving grace I will say for him is that they're not open-toed, so it's not as if you can see, you know, which piggy went to the market.
That's for sure. Yeah, that is for sure.
Yes, for cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, fashion faux pas, as I say. It just it reminds me of this comedy video I saw where there was a guy and he was dressing down 3 of his employees. I need to bring it up and show you later on. But he's got these employees of his standing in a row, and he has absolutely destroyed them one by one. And he goes into one of their attire, the footwear. In fact, let me see if I can bring it up. Hold on a second. Here it is. Where is it?
You are a shameless pig. All you know how to do is
about shoes.
Is that spear on your legs? Your leg is not happy the way it is. You are blocking your leg from fresh air with this crap you are wearing. You are a duck. Duck is what you are. You're supposed to be in the water swimming. Swim to your salvation. Rubbish.
Swim to your salvation. There you go. Chico Banza. Swim to your salvation.
To your salvation. All right. Okay. Next game. Yes. We've still got a few more. We've done an hour already. Fucking hell. Jesus. Right. OMONOIA. We beat ETHNIKOS by 4 goals to 1. Bekelivani seems to be the boogeyman for us at the moment. Gave ETHNIKOS the lead. ETHNIKOS then went down to 10 men. Well, sorry, Loizo equalized before ETHNIKOS went down to 10 men. After that, Semedo made it 2-1. Banayodu made it 3-1 from a corner. And Karim Mansarifad came off the bench to make it 4-1. I'll leave the floor to you, my friend, because I said what I had to say on the matter on No Choftes and in the members area analysis video, which you can pay 99 cents a month to see exclusive content from No Choftes.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, so, I mean, for me, it's more stupid referee decisions. There's at one point I think there's a corner coming in, or there's an attacking play happening, and one of our players running into the box, gets elbowed in the face, and then nothing given, no no penalty, no nothing. Bechnivani scores for Achna with their first shot. It's a long range shot. It's not fast. It's not that powerful. Fabiano should be doing a lot better with that. And it's not the first time he's conceded a goal like that this season as well. So I'm not sure what's happening with Fabiano at the moment. We were looking at him being like one of the better goalkeepers in the league. He's had a couple of shaky moments, I think, so far this season. But yeah, at one point as well, Gagulis gets stamped on the heel. It doesn't get taken to VAR or nothing. So that's, again, more referee bad decisions. It's like
fuckery.
It's like it's like they've been watching the Premier League for the last couple. They've been watching the Premier League and decided to, PGMOL are obviously don't give a shit. So why should we? Classy goal from a corner for Loizo. You brought up a Puskas award for him on Instagram. I was like, nah, I'm not having that. No, I'm not having that. That's why I got.
I'm gonna stop you there for a second. That clip was actually for Garnacho's goal.
Right.
That guy was reacting to Garnacho's goal.
Yeah.
But I did an edit for Loizo's goal. I then put it on TikTok. 24 hours later, 23,000 views later, I've got all these fans in Greece, APOEL'S fans, having a go at the guy that said about the Pushkas award. I'm like, do you know what? You lot don't even realize it's an edit. Are you fucking dumb? They were atting the guy. They were atting him. I'm like, it's an edit. And people are messaging saying, right, it's an edit, it's an edit, it's an edit. And yet there are people still saying, you need to see Garnacho's goal. You need to see Garnacho's goal. Tapped.
Oh, dear, man. Oh, dear.
Stupid is, stupid does.
Yeah, some people are idiots, man. No, but I was like, I can't have you talking about Pushkas awards. So I was like, Joey Suck, his Cruyff turn goal. 19-year-old Angelopoulos gets himself the second yellow card. Can't have any complaints. That was a shit tackle, man. And then after that, there was only ever going to be one result. OMONOIA finished the game with 12 shots compared to Achna's 2. And then even with that, Achna only had 1 shot on target. The other thing, obviously, Semedo is my captain on my fantasy team. So, yeah, boy. Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Now, bit of news. Obviously, Vrionidis was out last week. Regardless of the international week, because he's always a week behind. Now, one of the big losers of Vrionidis last week was ETHNIKOS Achna's under-17s. So they had a game against Akritas Chlorakas under-17s. And basically, Achna's fans had created a disturbance, clapped sarcastically at the referees, and in the presence of children, made vulgar movements and swore at them through the windows to the changing rooms. Right? The ringleader of these vulgar movements, whatever that means, I don't know if it means like Angurizavon or crotch movements or whatever the hell it is, right? The ringleader for the vulgarities that ETHNIKOS Achnas were up to was the head coach of the under-17s team, Zenios Constantino. So he left the field protesting against the referee decision, climbed into the stands where there were fans and young children from his own team's academies, and cursed the referee, kicking a plastic chair. So Constantino has been banned for 3 games and fined. So, and then in the notes I've put right at the end of it is Bergatinov is going to have to put in another night of work to pay for that.
See, this is what happens when you don't put the right amount of pickle and the right amount of cheese and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you set Zenyo off.
Yep. All right. Shall we move on?
Yes, let's go.
All right, let's go. And Buffer absolutely battered Othello by 3-0. Jairo giving them the lead, the guy that seems to have found his goal-scoring boots. Toumasi made it 2. Dragomir then made it 3. In all fairness, Tasso, watching this game in its entirety, I'm surprised Buffer only got 3. In all fairness, it could have been 15 or 16, honestly. I'm not even exaggerating. It was that convincing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, they could have had at least another 2. They hit the post 3 times.
Yep.
One of the times was in the build-up to Jairo's goal. But yeah, they hit the post another 2 times on top of that. And then we've also got the Abdul Salamov chance, because I can't believe he didn't score from that.
Yeah, 5 yards
it
out.
was unbelievable. Davo basically done all the hard work, getting the sprint on, getting the ball across to him. Abdul Salamov did a little trick, got the goalkeeper to dive early, and all he had to do was just give it a little tap, would have gone in. No, he messed it. He messed up his lines. But yeah,
the butterfly effect, and then he did his ACL.
Oh yeah, Davo did his ACL, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
if Abdul Salamov scored, maybe the ACL wouldn't have happened.
There you go. There you go. Get Ashton Kutcher on the case. A little thing that I picked up, because I like listening to the highlights as well as watching them, because the commentators in Cyprus, they bring out some fucking words, don't they? Sometimes, like when a goalkeeper pulls off a save, they say the goalkeeper said no. I just like listening to it and laughing at it. But one of the things that came up was the attendance figures for the match. That match. Now, I didn't get the full attendance, but what the commentators did is they broke down the attendance for each set of fans, and I managed to catch that Othellos took 27 people with them to Bafo.
Nice.
So, yeah. I mean, there's more than what DOXA took.
Barmy army.
Yeah. Come on, Othellos. Spartans. Yeah. Fucking yeah, boy. Yeah. Well done to them. Amazing.
Proud.
Yeah.
So, do you think Bafo are going to be in with a chance of winning the league, even though they're joint top now?
You keep asking me this because I keep saying no, and I will keep saying no. You're beating Othellos, man.
I just asked the question. They're joint top.
Out of the, it's Othellos. It's
so they're joint top.
Yeah, but they were on really good form last season, and then they got into the top 6, and then did bugger all with it.
But they're joint top.
Yeah, they are. They are. They are. Now, I'm not going to be too negative about them, because Casiedo has started following me on Twitter. So, so if they do mess up in the second part of the season, it's not his fault. I'm putting it out there now.
Look, they got Salamina, KARMIOTISSA before APOEL'S.
Yep.
Right? They've currently got, I think they've got 26 goals and they've conceded 7.
Yep.
I think. Something along those lines. So they got a better goal scoring record than APOEL. Same amount of goals conceded. They lost to APOEL in the league at the Ghazi B. They've got 2 winnable games, which I fully expect them to win. If they beat APOEL, are you going to turn around and say they got a chance to win the title?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But they don't get that many results against top 6 teams.
Okay, but that you answered my question. That's all I needed to know.
Your question had a few ifs in there. You know, have you seen
KARMIOTISSA?
Have you seen KARMIOTISSA? They're beating ARIS 4-1, mate. I don't know what you're going to say.
Yeah, but you know KARMIOTISSA playing at PAFOS Stadium.
Yes.
I'm just saying, you won't hear of any yellow envelopes. I promise that.
No, they'll be red.
I think they're just going to be self-destructing envelopes. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, please.
Last but not least, the unbeaten streak is over. ARIS beat APOEL by a goal to 0. It was a penalty kick. A lot of APOEL fans weren't happy about the award, but ARIS get the victory. It was a bit of a boring game, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you.
It wasn't.
Yeah, there wasn't.
I mean,
wasn't
that's
really
not a penalty.
anything.
Sorry.
What?
I've asked. I wanted somebody to tell me how that's a penalty. It's not a penalty.
I can tell you straight away. Right. Look at Hefter's right leg. Yeah, just keep looking at his right leg. There you go. He's tripped him up.
He hasn't tripped him up.
He's tripped him up. There. He's tripped him up. I'm telling you, he tripped him up. Look at the right leg.
Yeah, I'm watching.
There. Look at that. He's tripped him up.
Hold on. Right. Okay. Where's his left leg? No, where's his left leg?
Whose left leg?
Hefter Vital's. Right?
The left leg, that's... Yeah, I know where his left leg is. I can see his left leg, yeah.
No, but where is it?
What do you mean, where is it?
Where is it?
It's... What do you mean, where is it? It's on his...
Just describe me where his left leg is. Just describe it to me.
It's near the ball.
It's near the ball, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hefter Vital has got wings then, is he? Is he got wings?
Correct. Okay, well, you say that, but if you look at his right leg, yeah? In fact, look at his right boots. Yeah, his right boots is on Bambika's right calf. Yeah, it's a judo. It's judo. It's judo. It's not football.
It's judo. Okay, all right.
Bro, it's judo.
All right,
okay,
fine.
Okay, let's watch it. Let's watch it from what other angles have we got? Because listen, I've been very, very objective when it comes to your team this season. Yeah, right. That how can you tell me that's not a penalty? How can you tell me that is? I'm trying to slow it down because I don't have the facility to slow it down. How? 1 minute. Frame by frame. No, it's not even frame by frame. It's second by second. It's too quick. Look, come on, man. Look at his right leg. That's a penalty, man. It's judo. It's judo. Your business ain't a penalty. Come on, man. Behave yourself. I thought you were better than that.
All right. Okay. All right. Fine. Fine. You believe it's a penalty.
Just keep watching his right leg.
That's why when I asked on Twitter, could somebody less biased than me tell me if that's a penalty or not?
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. Anyway, Shumansky scored the goal on his birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah. He celebrated at Rumors with the rest of the squad. True story. I'm not. It's common knowledge. So yeah, 1-0 victory for ARIS. Again, it was a shit game. There wasn't really much going on. I think it was one of those games where whoever lost would have been disappointed. Whoever won, they'd have been ecstatic. I think a 0-0 draw would have been a fair result. There was one moment where Mayambella, APOEL reckoned that he should have been sent off. We'll go into that in just a moment. But what are your thoughts on the game, obviously, as an APOEL fan, and obviously given the result as well? Yeah.
Shit game, shit result. Obviously, it brings ARIS back into it. That means that there's 3 teams on the same amount of points. It looks like the Alpha Mega is not a place for APOEL to go to get results, really, is it? You know, last season we didn't do that great at the Alpha Mega either. Doesn't look like it's going too well this season either. Yeah, not a lot happened in the game. I think it's a testament to 2 things. One, the improvement of the defence that we've seen since Sapinto has been sat in the stands. And 2, the lack of the forward play in the team. Like, they're running out of ideas. The coaches are running out of ideas. They've tried Kviridaya up front. They've tried Gavril up front. Gavril is not... He's not an out-and-out striker, so he shouldn't be playing lone striker up front by himself. But yeah, Kviridaya, Gavril, Domane, nobody seems to be putting the ball in the net out of strikers. Top goal scorers for APOEL is Barquinhos and Dongala with 4 each, which is fine, but that's not title winning. That's not title winning goal amounts, is it? It seems to be at the moment basis is defense, and then from that get a goal from that. I mean, you know, even where the team's been dominant, there's only really been a goal in it. For instance, when we beat OTHELLOS 1-0, the game was like all one-way traffic up until a certain point. It is what it is. There needs to be a striker brought in. I think it's not working.
Apparently, you've got a scout in Nigeria at the moment. Apparently,
yep. There's a guy going around all of Nigeria to go look at players, which is all well and good. But if you're going to Nigeria to look at players, you're looking for younger players. You're looking for players to develop, not somebody who can just drop into the team straight away. Let's see what happens. Speaking of, obviously, pile of crap game, but the referee performance, we are disagreeing. Let's say we're agreeing to disagree about the penalty. But there's also the stamp that you mentioned briefly that happened earlier on in the game. Now, APOEL, the club, have gone and brought out a complaint about the refereeing, like a big time complaint. It was like a wall of text. I kind of read through it, and I was like, I can
wall of text.
It really was. It was just like, and then half of it was in bold, the other half wasn't, capital letters all over. It was weird, but yeah, I'm gonna try and read quickly the best bits from it. But in essence, they waited until the release of the VAR breakdown prior to providing everyone with their opinion of the performance of the VAR during the game. So here is some choice quotes. The mockery must stop here and now. We no longer tolerate it, and we do not allow anyone to play with the name and history of APOEL. We demand the immediate dismissal of the VAR replay operator. This particular one is not the first time that he does not practice his duties objectively. We have had other examples and reports weighing on his face in the past, but now the knot has reached the cone. He has no place in football, and in the key position he is in for it and needs to be removed. We expect immediate actions from the Cyprus FA on this. So that's and then some guy responded on Twitter with like screenshots of this VAR a person's private kind of Facebook pictures of him, like with OMONOIA flags and being an OMONOIA fan and all this business. I was like, I mean, whatever. I'm not going to get involved in that. But anyway, in conclusion, we address a message to the Cyprus Football Federation and the referee. Find ways, as is your job, to judge matches fairly and objectively. Decide what is valid and what is not, because at the end of the day, rather than educating people, you're making them question whether the rules apply to all groups equally or in the best interests of each. And then they reserved a paragraph down at the bottom specifically for me, right? I'm going to read this last paragraph. It's got nothing to do with anything else in the statement. It's like they put it in there because they knew I was going to talk about it and what a shit statement it is. And here we go. Because the world of APOEL is everywhere and everything is learned, heard and seen, we are sending a public message to all the media. No one could deprive anyone of public expression and freedom of opinion, but whoever escapes the measure of common sense should not have a place in public discourse, at least in relation to our own team. That is why sports editors who make radio broadcasts and at the same time express themselves as strong fans on Facebook, unfortunately or fortunately for themselves and for all the media they represent, have no place in this professional field that deals with football. We will not name anyone. Those who know, know.
Can I just say something about that very, very quickly?
Yeah.
Well, perhaps if they didn't threaten podcasters, then maybe they might get some leniency their way. Some people might be a bit nicer to them.
Not touching that. Not going to touch
No,
that.
no,
I'm going to leave that there.
You don't touch it. I will, because. But no, listen.
Yeah.
I don't. I've come to the point now where it's like, do you know what? Anything I say, right, it gets put under a microscope by certain people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, yes, they have been hard done by, a few times the past few years, as have other clubs.
Yep.
But it baffles me how this is the only club that can be very, very vocal about not just refereeing decisions, because other clubs do it, but in terms of talking about the press and how the press talk to them or treat them a certain way. But let's get it right. There are one or two outlets that have backed them for a very, very, very long time.
Yes.
Yes. And the way I see it is that people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Correct.
Okay. Now, that's your team. And you know what? You got your own opinion, and I respect that opinion. And I've been very vocal about my team, very, very vocal about my team, to the point where I've had people calling me from my team. Okay. But to their credit, they've never threatened me. And I'm not talking about legal action. I'm talking about physical harm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that there.
Well, so I've been very vocal about the boardroom management of my team. As anybody who listens to this podcast, you yourself, I've been yelling from the rooftops that we need to rip out this mushroom. I was trying to do some play on words on there. It didn't work. Anyway, he's killing the club. He's killing the club. I mean, to the point. So one of the reasons they mentioned that in the statement, even though kind of the original statement was just about refereeing, one of the reasons they mentioned that is because there's a lot of reports coming out of these media websites at the moment that are saying that Pedridi is planning on, because there hasn't been an investor coming in, that they've been looking for an investor to try and take on some of this debt. They're now going to look at the club's fan base and ask them to pour money into the club to help with the debt. I mean, in theory, they're already fucking doing that by buying tickets, buying shirts, buying memberships, doing People at this day and age, do not have that much disposable income. A lot of the big fans of this club are pouring every bit of disposable income into the club already, right? You can't ask more from these fans than what they're already doing. Can you?
Mate, look, for a supporter of a rival club, I thoroughly enjoy the plight of your club. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah.
However, that's the subjective side of me, right? The objective side, as a Cypriot football fan, for your club to be in the situation that it is, it's unacceptable. Okay? And look, I know your president has got thousands of people that back him, supporter-wise. They love him. Yeah. They think he's this. Yeah. I get it. I get it. He can do no wrong in many people's eyes. And I get it. It's blind loyalty. I understand it. That's their prerogative and their choice. But at what point do you turn around and say, ARI have got a foreign investor. PAFOS have got a foreign investor. KARMIOTISSA had a foreign investor. Okay, so those are 3 clubs. Okay, which one of those 3 are the same size, if not bigger, than APOEL'S? None of them.
No,
not one of them. You put those 3 clubs together in terms of their history, you amalgamate them. History, lineage, player profiles, etc., etc. None of them are at APOEL'S level.
No.
None of them. And it might even take them another 90 years to be at APOEL'S level, right? So why isn't a club the size of APOEL, the stature of APOEL, the history of APOEL, yeah? Why are they not being looked at by potential investors? Why haven't they been purchased by now? It's a rhetorical question, bro. Because as you know, with rhetorical questions, they don't need answers. The fact is, and let's just call it like it is, because we've done an hour and a half, and I don't care who sees this or hears this, right? Every investor or potential investor will want to do their due diligence at a club. Okay, they'll look at the finances, they'll see the profit and loss accounts, they'll see the debts, they'll look at everything, all that information that all of us are privy to, that you've reported on numerous occasions, right? And if it doesn't add up, if it doesn't add up, more often than not, if these guys are legitimate, they'll say, fuck this, I don't want to go into this. Right? Now, and I'm going to say this. If there's someone that invests in APOEL to take over the whole club, they're just as dodgy as anyone else you can think of. Fact. Right? The reason why APOEL will not get a majority owner is purely because of that reason. Because the people that are interested or have been interested, they're not that way inclined. They don't want to go down a shady route. Okay, so there's something clearly there that's putting these people off. Now, anyone that does invest in APOEL, they're not going to be investing to be taking over the club. They're investing to make a return on their investment. It's that simple. That's all it is. They want to put their money in and get money back out, but they don't want their name on the door. Okay? That's what it is. So I'm just calling it like it is. And this isn't me being the OMONOIA fan. This is me being someone that's been in the football industry for over 13 years, right? That's seen a hell of a lot of shit and is still seeing a lot of shit, right? But I've spoken to people that are involved in club takeovers and financial matters. And they've always said to me, Stel, they look at the balance sheet. They look at the assets. Club hasn't got its own stadium for a start. The training facilities need updating, but they can handle it. Then you have players that still haven't been paid for a long time. Okay, and then you look at the political side of things, because don't get it twisted, bro. And again, it might just be Cyprus, but if you're a potential investor in APOEL, you're going to look at the club, and then you can look at the fan base, and then you're going to see the behavior. And there's certain things that have been brought into stadiums which are not 2023. These are things that should have been stuck in the 40s and kept in the 40s, right? Under a certain Austrian's regime, yeah? And I'm just calling it like it is because they see it as a brand. You cannot look at this club and say, right, history, great, fan base, fantastic. They go week in, week out, yada, 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 travel home and away, history, whatever. But then you see certain things like what I'm not going to mention, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, that's a stain. And it puts them off investing because you can either do one or two things. You take over the club and you ban that from happening, but then you're going to upset certain people. And then when you upset certain people, they either kick off and make your life difficult, or they just boycott. And then you lose that core base.
Yeah.
So as an investor, you're not only looking at the finances, you're looking at the reputation, and you're looking at what can I do with it? Can I clean it up? If I can clean it up, great. But to what effect? Look at OMONOIA. You know, Baba Stavro took over, and he's not a bad person. All right, he's been to court a few times in the United States. Legal documents are there. They're available online if you look at them, right? But he joined, and his method, his way of doing things at a football club were completely opposite to what the hardcore fans wanted. So they said, fuck this, we're going to go create our own team.
Yeah. And
as a result, the fan base has been affected. Yes, season tickets sell out, 4,000, whatever, but you're not getting 10, 15,000. If APOEL were winning league titles like they were back in the day, qualifying for Champions Leagues, quarterfinals, etc., that Gazibi will be rocking. It would be rocking because everyone will be there. Everyone and their fucking dog will be there.
Yeah.
But the fact is, when you're investing in a club, forget Ari at the moment. No disrespect to Ari, but they don't have a fan base. All right, they do, but it's not APOEL standard, bro. Come on, it's a different level, So any investor that comes in, they're going to look at Ari and say, right, they're a safe bet because they're not controversial. They're kind of in the middle of everything. They're not politically aligned. Okay, they ain't got much history, so we got something to build on. So the level of expectation ain't there. Same with Buffo. Same with KARMIOTISSA. But when it's APOEL, you're looking at the whole package. The whole package. And these little things, for whether it be the fan behavior, whether it be this, it all plays a part in the decision-making process on whether or not someone wants to buy a club. I'm sorry I've been ranting on, but people need to realize this. You know, IL, for example, they are very attractive. The fan base are there. You don't see much controversy. All right, okay, when they play APOLLON, it always kicks off. But these are things that you can wean out. You can slowly move it out. But it just seems that with APOEL, it's a different kind of support. It's a different kind of support. I think APOEL are the most intense supporters, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I think they're the most hardcore. They're the most hardcore. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. But when you start saying to the fans, you can't wear these colors. You can't wear. Can you imagine if an investor comes in and says, right, we don't like the hooliganism aspect because it makes us look bad as a brand. You lot aren't allowed to wear orange anymore. Can you imagine?
But these are burn the place down.
But this is what I'm saying. But these are the things that investors look at. This is what they look at because they're worried about their reputation, man.
Yeah.
And this is why it makes it even more difficult to sell the club. Forget the financial side. It's the other little things. So this is what I'm trying to explain. Like, it's not just about the finances. There's other things. If you want to be a brand, you got to think about the bigger picture. Yes, the history's there. It's great. Fantastic. But then there's the other little elements. And you can't avoid it. You can't ignore it, especially in big 2023. You can't. We live in a society of snowflakes, bro. Anyway.
Yep.
Anyway.
No, I agree with everything you've said. There's a lot going on under the surface at APOEL, and it's not an easy solution to it.
Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is.
There is an easy solution, but
well, listen, I'll be honest with you. When I went to Amsterdam back in 2007, I tried magic mushrooms, and do you know what? Magic mushrooms, in the short term, they're fantastic. They give you the biggest buzz on the planet. You feel unstoppable, but the come down is a motherfucker.
Oh well, yeah, that's what we're on now, isn't it?
Right,
unbelievable.
The come down is a motherfucker. I'll tell you. Anyway,
let's bring it back up.
Back to the Mayambella thing quickly, because there was this video that came up. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so basically APOEL have released a video of where the Cyprus FA released a video explaining dangerous play from players and what it would mean for a player to do the kind of tackle that Mayambela did, and why that would involve getting a red card. So they showed the video of the tackle that they showed, that the Cyprus FA had shown everybody, and then showed a replay of the tackle from Mayambela, and then basically put the point across that because Marquinhos was wearing a blue and yellow shirt, then that's why it wasn't given.
Let me ask you this, because I think we may have discussed this before, right?
Yeah.
Just to, because I'm getting old and my brain is like a lava lamp at the moment. If there were more cameras in the stadiums, would it help? Because I look at that view and it looks bad. It looks like a bad challenge. But if there's a camera behind them, so you've got Mayambela's, side of things, it may have looked different. Now, I'm not saying that it was a bad it wasn't a bad challenge. Don't get me wrong, because there it looks like it, but different angles again, like we did with the penalty.
Well, yeah, exactly. But the problem with what was brought forward for VAR was that angle wasn't shown to the referee.
Right. Okay.
So that was another reason why APOEL had kicked off, is that for some reason we've managed to find this angle from nowhere where it wasn't shown during the match.
Yeah.
So that's why that's one of the reasons why they kicked off about that. Fair was enough. So that yeah.
Okay. Well, before we move on, I just want to bring up the league table because we haven't done it in a while. Yep. And as you can see, 3 teams locked on 26 points. ARIS, APOEL'S, and BAFO. You have ANORTHOSIS and OMONOIA, 4th and 5th. Now SALAMINA move up to 6th. AEK level points with SALAMINA on 19 points. All of a sudden, they're in with a shout of top 6. APOLLON slipped down to 8th. IL, poor little IL and Rosland's team stuck in 9th. Hasn't been a great start for Koskela, to be honest. But at the bottom, it's looking very, very interesting, isn't it? DOXA on 1 point. It's only 5 points between them and KARMIOTISSA. But then you got OTHELLOS, AES, ETHNIKOS, 12 points, 10 and 9. It could be an interesting Group B.
Yeah, it's a spicy one. It's a spicy meatball.
Oh, yeah, it's Pasturma.
Oh my God, Pasturma. It's first day of the Nistias and you bring up Pasturma, man.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Oh. Foodfromcyprus.com, NCN12 for your Pasturma, 12% discount. Come on.
Yeah, I'll be lining that up for after Christmas.
Come on. Right, let's move on. We've done an hour and 39 minutes. Let's see if we can wrap it up in under 2 hours.
Yeah, let's do it.
Quick fire.
Yeah, quick fire. We need more good and local refs. So, head of the referees of the FA, Domenico Messina, visited the American Academy in Larnaca to get the kids there to become referees.
So it's like a Make-A-Wish project.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of reasons for that. So, and I'll get to them. So, old Chacos, because Domenico, Sunday, Kiriago, Chacos. Yeah. So, Chacos played a video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like this. They're kind of trying to gamify the becoming a referee process, and it's got like the blip, 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 blip of the video game happening in the background. And next level, yellow card. Ooh. Anyway, so they need more local refs coming through because one of the main things is the difference in cost between Cypriot and foreign refs, as has been reported by Supersport this week. So for foreign referees, it is €2,500 a game when they are on the pitch and €1,000 when they are in VAR. And then the air tickets and the accommodation costs are not counted in those amounts as well. So they've got expenses added on to that. When referees are exchanged, foreigners are paid at the rate that they are paid for in their own country. For domestic referees, the first referee gets €620 per game. The assistant gets 400, and the fourth official gets 280. The VAR receives 420, and the assistant VAR receives 280. So, pay gap is massive between local and foreign referees.
Well,
That's
I know
the first
how
thing.
they can incentivize new referees rather than giving them a certificate. I mean, they could give them a certificate, but when they give them their award, congratulations, you're now an official CFA referee. Here's your Toyota Fortuna. It is the first bulletproof, bomb-proof car used by the United States government. You can have this.
Split it between the five of you. Yeah?
What, carpool, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or you all ride around in the same one.
Bihali, in my mesa.
Menelao. But yeah, so we've got an inside track into the training course as well, because one of our listeners, they're on the Discord as well, was at the presentation. And he only had good things to say about track core, but it also means we now have a spy on the training course. So Mario, if you've made it this far, keep an eye on things. Tell us if there's anything dodgy going on. Next.
He's hardly inconspicuous, is Mario. He's like 16 years old and 7'5".
Well, I mean, for sure, it's going to be less likely for players to go up to him to be like, what you know.
You should hear his voice. He's like Barry White.
But yeah, Mario, seriously, spy, do a job. Tell us if there's anything dodgy going on. Now
I'm going to give you a yellow card.
Next. Speaking of yellow cards, ILIAS CHARALAMBOUS, the King of Bucharest. He's currently head coach of FCSB, who are currently top of the Superliga in Romania by 5 points. He's doing good numbers after 17 games of the season. He's a great representative for Cyprus abroad. He's doing a good job for us. Now, however, he is from Cyprus after all. In FCSB's last match versus Dynamo Bucharest, he had some things to say to the opposition fans, specifically with one finger. And for those watching, there is an image. There we go. Have some of that. You pricks. There you go.
Go Steve Austin.
Yeah, I mean, we're nothing if not classy as a nation, eh?
Yes. And he's done it with infliction.
Yeah. I mean, he could have walked up to him like that as well. Yeah, I don't know if that means the same thing in Romania.
Maybe.
You do that, and then nothing would have happened to him.
No.
He wouldn't have got picked up. Now, Stephen Constantine, the Shah of Pakistan. Like where I went there with that, King of Bucharest.
Yes.
Shah of
Very good.
Very
good.
Constantine had 2 weeks to get the Pakistani national team through the first round of the qualifying for the Asian region for the World Cup. He did it despite no official league in Pakistan and in an ineligibility of one of their star players who plays for Grimsby Town. So it kind of tells you the class, the skill level of the players. The player qualifies to play for Pakistan through his grandfather being born in what is now Pakistan. Only problem is when his grandfather was born, Pakistan as a country didn't exist.
Oh, God.
That's where the ineligibility comes in. So I don't know if that's been solved yet or not, but either way, he wasn't able to play in those games. Even though Pakistan won those 2 games and are now in the group stages of the qualification for the World Cup. Now, in the group stages, they have to play Saudi Arabia, Tajikistan, and Jordan. And so far, they've lost 4-0 to Saudi Arabia and 6-1 to Tajikistan. Now, the scores are expected. The whole thing was to try and get into these group stages for the first time after a very long time. and then just have fun while you're there. So that's kind of
Yep.
what they're doing at the moment. So there you go.
Okay, good, excellent, excellent.
Next one.
And then
The last one is, well, it's a low one. We're going to finish one, I think.
yes,
Is L'Academia FC's press representative posted on Facebook about the facilities at the Yermasoya Community Stadium. So, the quotes, our players were made to get changed in a locker room that had a door with transparent glass. At full time and rainy conditions where players were soaked, they were expected to take a bath and change. So this is L'Academia FC is a girls team. So we'll just put that up there as well. So it's a girls football team. While right outside, there were players stood, and there were teenagers of two teams that were due to face each other after the game that the FC L'Academia girls team had played. So, young girls who love the sport, on top of all the challenges they have to face because they chose to be soccer players, had to experience the humiliation, fear, and shame of having to get changed in clear window changing rooms while there were boys outside. So the board and the coaches of the team are trying to cover the glass. And then they posted some images of how clear the glass is in these changing rooms, which obviously isn't necessarily a problem as much when you've got men changing. It's not great, is it? It's not a great situation. You'd think that there'd be some kind of consideration for those to be changed. You know, we're in 2023. It's about time to not have that kind of thing in place, or at least to have something in place to mitigate. Right?
Yeah, I think, look, I understand the shame and the disappointment and the humiliation. I get it. What I will say to that is, number one, how can whoever's in charge of the facilities, how can they be okay with a bunch of teenage boys loitering around while these people, because apparently it's been like this for the last 20, 30 years, right? Nothing's changed. It's the same facilities. They haven't upgraded it, whatever. But surely there's got to be someone there to say, guys, just wait down there for another 10, 15 minutes. The girls need their privacy, whatever, you know? Yeah. At the same time, even if they were 10, 15, 20 yards away, we do have mobile phones. And what's going to stop some stupid little idiot getting his phone out, zooming in, and videoing it?
Yeah.
You know? Now, on the one hand, you could say that L'Academia should have been aware of the changing room situation and maybe could have filed a complaint or requested it to be covered, or even brought their own way to cover it up, whatever. Yeah. You know? But at the same time, it's not their responsibility. It's the facilities' responsibilities.
Correct.
Yeah. Do they have security? I doubt it. This is Cyprus we're talking about here. Did they use their common sense and think, well, you know, it's women getting changed. Maybe we might want to, you know, sort something out, or even change the schedule so that maybe the men's game or the boys' game starts half an hour, 45 minutes later, so the boys don't come at the... Again, it's a fucking logistical nightmare. Someone's ballsed it up big time. But the fact is, again, these women are being subjected to whatever it is that they've gone through, whether it be, as I said, humiliation, whatever. And it's not their fault. It really ain't their fault. So I think there are many people responsible for this, including Lagadamia, as I said, because they should have known about it. I mean, they would have known about it before they even showed up. So again, I just think it's a matter of, but you know, this is Cyprus. You know, this is how we do things. We're not going to kick off. We're just going to see it as it is. But it's Andropi, man.
It is. It is Andropi. It is. It is. It is.
No one's going to be held accountable. No one wants to hold their hand up and say, "I fucked up." So,
well, no, nobody's going to do that.
No chance.
But yeah, yeah. Anyway, sad to leave it on a sour note, but I think we needed to bring it up because
for sure.
It needs to. Nothing will happen if the people in charge aren't being embarrassed about it. So we need to embarrass them, so then something can be done about it.
Yeah.
There you go.
And pigs may fly.
And pigs may fly. Pigs may fly.
There you go. Well, that's all. We've done it in under 2 hours.
Yeah. One thing we didn't mention, we'll just leave it on a good note. Happy birthday, Morgan. As we're recording this, is Morgan Brown's birthday.
Come on, my guy.
He should be resting for his big game tomorrow, but instead he's scrolling around on Twitter, liking Twitter posts that he's been tagged. But yeah, he's probably having a great time right now in Glasgow.
Yep. Bombastic side eye. Come on. Oh,
look at that.
It's right on full time as well. It's right on full time. You know. So yeah, good luck tomorrow.
Don't celebrate against my team, my guy, please. But yes, and also our friend Cyprus Football League managed to get onto a podcast to talk about ARIS as well.
Rangers review.
Yeah,
Rangers review. Yeah, I'll be doing it in the morning.
Yeah,
they got him for one, and they got me for the other. So yeah, they got Cypriot football all over the gaff.
Yeah, good for you too, I guess.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And
so let's see.
Whatever.
Well, my one's gonna be live, so I'm ready for anything, man. And given the way that Ari have been gone on the social media, I'm probably gonna get it in the neck myself.
Fine. You know, whatever. You guys have fun. Yeah, you and Nicola, whatever.
Oh, come on.
I am of course joking. It's
you get the soccer noob guy. Come on now.
Exactly. I get around.
There you go. Right, that's it, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to give us a follow on X and on Instagram at This Is Mappa. We have a Discord, we have a Facebook page. Don't forget to visit foodfromcyprus.com. And that's all. Is there anything else?
Gaffesflares.com. I did that big massive article on all the data on the different coaches for the Cypriot national team and how Getspaya is one of the worst ones we've had. And I back up the reasons with actual statistics. Here's some games. Here's where we've won. Here's where we've lost. And here's why Getspaya is a bald fucking fraud. Go and have a look. It's nice.
Women lie, men lie. Thassos stats, however, facts.
There
you go.
Yeah.
So that's it. We will be back next week, hopefully with less shenanigans. I ain't holding my fucking breath. Hi there. Good night.